I want to make a quick video to go over an Apex OSD alternative. In a FETTech stack, to get an on-screen display, one of the common options is to use the Apex OSD. It's a great OSD that gives you a lot of flexibility in the layout of the on-screen display components, but it requires multiple parts to get it working. It requires the Apex regulator board, the OSD itself, the harness kit, and of course a VTX. Having all these parts causes builds to be a little bit more complicated and also causes a lot of points of failure. The harness kit, the regulator board, and the OSD can all fail. This isn't to say these are cheap or fragile parts, but when crashing into concrete multiple times, something's going to give. My solution to this is to use the TBS Evo. It has its own OSD built in. This one VTX replaces 4 parts in your build. It makes the build simpler, lighter, and in my opinion, a little bit more durable. I ended up replacing the semi-FETTech build when the Apex regulator board went out from crashing into cement multiple times. With the TBS Evo, you can use the TBS barcode generator to simply change the channels while you're in the field. You can simply bring up the app and change the channel. You put it up to your camera, and that after a few seconds, your channel and or your mode will change. Where TBS really shines is you can connect it to a TBS Crossfire receiver, and this will give you smart audio-like capabilities. StingersSwarm did a great video on how to set this up, and I'll put a link on how to set this up in the video description. A couple drawbacks on why you might not want to switch to this method is, one, there is no audio on this board. The Impulse OSD has a nice mic right here, so you will get audio back on that. Another reason why you might not want to switch to the TBS Evo is, for what I'm aware, is there's no way to move around the OSD elements. If you don't like where it's at, you're kind of stuck with that. The TBS Evo is not a new VTX. This has been out for a while, but I have never had the need to use its OSD because I use Betaflight OSD or other OSD alternatives with KISS and or FETTech. But when my regulator board went out on the field and I needed a quick replacement, this worked really nicely. That's why there's this big mess of wires right here, because I was in a hurry to get this back in the air. I had a couple requirements when replacing my OSD. One, be able to easily switch my VTX channel, something crucial when flying with other people. And two, some sort of voltage output so I know when to land and not kill my battery. It worked really well for me for those use cases, and if you have any other alternatives, I'd like to hear them. I do enjoy and use the Apex OSD, but the Evo got me out of the pickle, and it was a good solution, and I wanted to share it.